The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has debunked allegations made by Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, who claimed that some pilots in Nigeria smoke Indian hemp and get high before flying, attributing many runway overrun incidents to drug use and poor regulatory oversight leadership. The allegations were made during plenary as senators debated a motion on strengthening aviation safety in Nigeria. Kalu criticized aviation regulatory agencies, including the NCAA, for allegedly failing to properly monitor pilots' leadership. Let's take a look.
Some of the pilots are not prepared. Some of them use Indian hemp. Yes, it's true. Some of them smoke Indian hemp, and some of them are not properly audited by the authorities. I am telling you what I know, because the NCA and NEMA and other authorities are not looking after these pilots and checking them on drugs. On the spot assessment, they are not doing it because it is dangerous. And you see them walking into the airplane, nobody checked their blood pressure, nobody checked anything, nothing, and their drug level. Not that aircraft, most of them 737-500 have an automatic landing gear system. It doesn't need the pilot to land the plane. What needs to land the plane is the computer, autopilot. But because some of them are high, they are not going to do this thing. Because any aircraft that is of the new generation don't need the pilot to fly. Landing and takeoff is purely automatic.
All right. I believe this senator had an airline at one time. I believe, I forget what it was called, Sorka or something like that. But you know, the NCAA has described the senator's claims as baseless and misleading, defending the professionalism of Nigerian pilots and the robustness of its oversight system. The Director General of NCAA, Chris Najomo, in a statement insisted that all licensed pilots in Nigeria undergo rigorous medical, professional, and safety checks before being cleared to fly, adding that no pilot can operate a Nigerian registered aircraft without holding both a valid pilot license and current medical certificate, with commercial and airline transport pilots requiring Class 1 medical certificates issued after comprehensive aero-medical evaluation. I believe that, you know, the Association of Pilots have also responded. I said to Festus Kiyamo, he was quite appalled that, you know, the senator was making such, you know, as it appears, baseless claim. You were saying something, Ayo, were you, or did you quickly? Yes, you guys were speaking about it.
Yes, the senator didn't say it well. He made a fallacy of hasty generalization.
Fallacy of hasty generalization. Yeah.
So he generalized too hastily and he exaggerated. But the question, based on empirical facts, was there a case where cannabinol was found and narcotic was found in the blood of a pilot after an incident in this country?
And an air hostess.
And an air hostess? Yes, there was.
An isolated incident.
No, yes. No.
One isolated incident.
One isolated incident,
Yes.
too many.
But you now ask, how
because
does the ecosystem allow that incident
to happen in the first place?
Yeah.
One too many.
Yeah. Have you watched the movie Flight?
No, hang on a minute.
With Denzel Washington
let me finish.
in it?
Let me finish.
Yeah, it happens everywhere.
You say
It's
one
just, yeah.
one isolated incident, yes. An airplane overshot the runway by a mile. That could have led to very, very bad disaster. What we should do is attack that. That should never even have happened in the first place.
Right.
And the fact that after a test by Accidents and Investigation Bureau, they found that happened. But so did it happen? Yes. But is the senator right by now making this fallacy and hasty generalization and using one paint to one towel to brush everybody in the industry? He's wrong on that. But we cannot deny the fact that it happened.
All right. Well, that was one incident that happened. But did you guys listen to the response by the
NCAA's response?
They have
said
given
that
a robust
they
response.
do random checks, and there will always be people that fall through the cracks. Even in the most developed of nations where they have very sophisticated methods of random checks, whether it be in the sports industry, whether it be the security agents or enforcers, it happens. And so I think it's quite dangerous, especially for a man of his standing, to stand on the floor of the Senate, the hallowed chamber of the Senate, and make assertions that are misleading and could cause reactions that are not palatable, especially attacking the aviation industry, particularly because a lot of work is being done. And that's why I'm glad that the NCAA came out, because you know I'm saying that when it comes to Nigeria and the way that enforcement is done, people latch onto these bad stories very quickly.
Correct.
And you can now spread the news, and that's why some headlines say Nigerian pilots are on drugs. And it's false.
It's false.
So for him to make that statement, I think it was important, and which the NCAA did, that not all pilots are high. In fact, that was one pilot that was found, and it happens. And the reason for random checks or checks like this is to prevent. You can prevent. I think also speaks to a deeper issue of the prevalence of drug abuse as a nation generally, and that's one thing that we should talk about as well. So I think that it is important that it has been debunked, and we should not just paint an entire, call pilots like that. So whenever you want to go on a plane, you want to be smelling the breath from you on a lighter note. But I think it's important, that they came out to the they came out to the robust response and the medical rigor for each person, for the pilot that it goes through by the NCAA. I think it was in order.
All right, well said, Ayo, well said.